today is the big day. It marks the 30th day of my pull-up challenge. Now, before we get to the final results, let's take it back. This was January 2018. My New Year's resolution was to do a single chin-up, which I successfully did 1 year later. I did this challenge for 2 reasons. For one, I wanted to push my boundaries of fitness. Just a couple years ago, my only desire was to do a single chin-up because I thought doing pull-ups would be unattainable. My second reason was to help improve my climbing performance. Here is me on day 1, attempting to max out on my pull-ups and chin-ups. My max reps were 2 pull-ups and 3.5 chin-ups. I do want to mention that in no way am I glamorizing the idea that you can pump out reps of pull-ups within 30 days alone. I have a climbing background which explains the rapid progress and amount of reps. This challenge for me was more about getting used to engaging my back muscles. My main focus for week 1 was to get used to the pulling motion. I'm familiar with using my whole body to pull while I'm climbing, so doing pull-ups and chin-ups was a different transition since I'm isolating just my back. At this point, I was doing around 3 pull-ups and 3 chin-ups in a single set. Day 5 was just for the fun of it. I wanted to see if I could do weighted pull-ups after I watched a YouTube video. I had 15 pounds on and was only able to get halfway up for the pull-up. Surprisingly, I could get 1 chin-up in all the way.
What, you're gonna record me? Oh, you're recording yourself.
The reason I kept this clip in is because it reminds me that exercising is just as much mental as it is physical. There were days that I would wake up not excited to do pull-ups, which resulted in a bad set. There were also times when I was already extremely sore, but I was eager to get a good set in, and it would happen. My focus for week 2 was to get in volume. Now that I've gotten used to the pulling motion, I wanted to see how many reps I can get in. I wasn't entirely focused on form at this point because I knew I could always fix that later. I placed more emphasis on getting my strength up to par. Up to bar. There were days that I only wanted to do 1 set, other days I only did 2 reps, and some days where I just flat out was too tired and sore to do any pull-ups at all, and that's okay. I actively avoided setting a goal for the number of reps I wanted to accomplish in a day. I wanted to make the challenge as doable as possible, and I knew that if I set a quota per day, I wouldn't be able to sustain the challenge for 30 days.
I think it's the pants. Here, let me fix that.
Wrist, I can't hold on to anything.
Our water is leaking. Jim, can you turn off the yeah, water? You know how, right? Yeah. Yeah, you need
You actually lifted me up. Around this point, I noticed my form was getting progressively worse since I started pumping my legs a lot. This is very typical but a bad habit to form. To combat this, I took it back by doing half pull-ups. Half pull-ups are good to increase stamina and to fix form, so week 3 was dedicated to just doing half pull-ups. At this point, I was able to get around 9 to 10 half pull-ups and was consistently doing 5 to 6 full pull-ups. It was around week 4 that I noticed that the half pull-ups were benefiting my full pull-up performance. I also noticed I stopped kicking my legs as much, so week 4 was all about doing pull-ups with proper form. I'm still kicking my legs a bit, but definitely way less than I was before. This video was a beast to make and film for 30 days, but I thank you for joining me along for the ride. My pull-up journey does not end here, as I want to be able to do a full 10 pull-ups by the end of this year.
Today's the big day. It marks the 30th day of my pull-up challenge. I already took off my shoes to lighten the load. And I'm gonna do some push-ups right now to get some warmth, get some blood flowing. And then I'm gonna start the session just doing pull-ups so I don't get too tired. I'm stoked about that. Yeah, so I went from 2.5, or more like 2, to 6.5. Right? 7?
Yeah, 6.5.
That last one was ugly. 6.
6.5.
6.5? Okay, you'll give it to me? Cool.
Yeah.
In conclusion, I went from doing 2 to 6.5 pull-ups. Whoever needs to hear this, you can do a pull-up. You'd be amazed at what you can do with determination and consistency. Thanks for watching.